Opposition parties are calling for a review of the electricity and fuel price structures to spare South Africans ongoing crippling energy costs. Meanwhile, the ANC has defended another looming electricity price hike granted by the energy regulator. On the back of that, the fuel price went up by over 20 rand a litre yesterday. Members of Parliament have been debating the rising electricity and fuel costs this afternoon. Our reporter Lindsay Dentlinger is following this discussion for us. She joins us now live. So, Lindsay, where are MPs laying the blame for the country's high electricity and fuel costs, and how is government actually defending these constant price hikes?
Well, they're saying that for too long, the way in which we calculate the fuel price, the way in which the electricity price is calculated, and that which the energy regulator is allowed to allows Eskom to pass on to consumers are just outdated strategies. And in the case of the fuel price, we know that for the first time since 1990, just last week, the finance minister halted any increase in levies that contribute to that fuel price hike every year. But opposition parties saying it's time that the price of fuel is deregulated. We know that this is not the first time a call has been made to this effect. There have been talks for some time that a paper would be produced to see how this could be made a reality. That has not yet happened today, but today that call stronger and stronger from various sides of the opposition benches, feeling also that the Road Accident Fund, as we know, also funded from the fuel levy, and just feeling that too much money that goes into the price of fuel goes into government coffers for things that are unrelated to the fuel price. And in the case of electricity, of course, we know that's an ongoing debate about what Eskom is allowed to charge consumers and then passing that on to municipalities. And some MPs, for example, the Good Party MP Brett Heron, who was a former councillor in the city of Cape Town, lashing back at the DA, which brought this debate in the first place, saying that they were not being transparent enough, certainly here in the city of Cape Town, in terms of how much they then hike the price of electricity. And that is the case why many are struggling to pay for their electricity in this city, at least anyway. And that was also the viewpoint shared by the chairperson of the Public Enterprises Committee, Kaya Makaka, who also claimed that the city was unduly adding on top of those increases. But here's the DA's Kevin Milam, who introduced the debate in terms of what the DA believes should happen.
Unbundle Eskom and create a truly independent grid operator. Open that grid up to competition and remove the cap on renewable energy generation in the integrated resource plan. Make it easier through a concerted red tape reduction program for municipalities, businesses and consumers to either generate their own electricity or to procure directly from independent power producers. Incentivize the importation and local production of electric vehicles to reduce the reliance on refined fuels. Deregulate the fuel sector and allow the free market to determine pricing. And more specifically, get rid of the unaffordable taxes and levies that government use to cover their incompetence and corruption.
How are ANC MPs responding to the electricity tariff increases?
Well, very strangely, Shahan, they are defending the decision by the energy regulator, NERSA, to pass on that 9.6%, allowing Eskom to hike electricity by that percentage, saying that in effect that this was being misunderstood, that only around 3% of that amount was really what Eskom was asking for to hike the price of electricity, and that the rest of that, as we know, it's that ongoing debate about under recovery and that clawing back of the price of electricity in terms of what they sell and then what they generate. And so the Deputy Minister of Public Enterprises saying that this increase would allow Eskom to move towards sustainability, to be able to maintain its ailing fleet, and then also to get to the point where the electricity tariffs in this country are cost reflective. Of course, the opposition party is not in agreement with that, but the Deputy Minister also also sounding the alarm, saying that the ongoing conflict now between Russia and Ukraine, a lot unknown as to how that may impact the price of energy into the future, and so much still unknown about what could happen. But here's the Deputy Minister speaking about that tariff increase that the Eskom has just recently been granted.
The recent NERSA decision to approve a tariff increase of 9.61%, for which I think I need to explain this because a lot has been said around this and some of it factually inaccurate, for which only 3.49% tariff was against Eskom's application of 14.58% for the year 2022-2023. The other 6.12% increase was for the previously approved under recovery from the regulatory clearing account mechanism. This regulatory clearing account mechanism deals with previous revenue under recovery or over recoveries.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. Lindsay Dentlinger is in Cape Town.